On this episode of Internet Business Mastery, we talk with social media master Don Crowther, who teaches how to finally make money with social media.
Welcome to InternetBusinessMastery.com, where you will learn to take control, make more money, and start an internet business today. Here are your hosts, Sterling and Jay.
Hey everyone, I'm Sterling.
And I'm Jay. And we're on a mission to help you enjoy more financial control and freedom by starting your own internet business. If you want to get started right away, go to freevideogift.com to get exclusive content not available on the show here.
So Jay, what's up?
Well, you know how we were talking about fast money strategies in a recent episode of the show here? That's been on both of our minds a lot recently, that idea of, okay, how can we help people get to their first money online even faster for that boost of confidence in themselves and in the process of internet business? And interestingly, and tell me if what your thoughts are on this, if you'd agree or not, but it seems like, so basically, to make money online, you would need to have some kind of offer, some kind of product that some niche market out there really, really wants. Whether that's, an ebook or something else that you could sell online. And, the cool thing is, obviously, with affiliate programs where you sell someone else's product and make a commission off of that, you don't even have to make a product of your own. So it makes sense that one of the fastest money ways online would be, through some kind of affiliate marketing, which would be, I guess for anybody listening and not, familiar with what that is, if you just go to like Amazon is one of the most well-known affiliate programs where you can send people through your links to Amazon, and if they buy anything, you get some percentage of what the money that Amazon makes. But of course, the other side of that coin, then the other piece, it's kind of a two-piece puzzle here. The second piece is needing that really, really fast following of targeted customers who are likely to be interested in that thing that you're offering. And, so I've been thinking a lot lately, like, okay, well, what are the fastest ways that I know online to build up a targeted following of people? And the answer that keeps coming to me is basically Twitter and Facebook, those kind of social media channels, and the most powerful and popular of them being Facebook by large, and then also Twitter as well, because first of all, there's so much traffic on those sites. And there's so many people in every, walk of life, every interest, every little tiny niche market. There's people interested in those things. And it's very, very easy to find people with a very specific interest, both on Twitter and Facebook. So it seems to me that armed with the right affiliate offer, so whether it's a product off of Amazon, whether it's an ebook or something you found on ClickBank or some other affiliate offer off of like Commission Junction or something like that, armed with that right targeted product that somebody else made, so you didn't even have to put the time into making it, and a basic understanding of how to get a following fast with Twitter and or Facebook, that you could get to that first dollar in a matter of no time at all. So that's kind of the idea, mulling around in my mind right now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the tests that we've been doing and that I've been doing as well has shown that can definitely pan out. Now it's all about the system of making it happen as fast as humanly possible. And I know it can work. It's just making it happen even faster. Fast
and easy, efficiently, and without putting out too much money, because that's what everyone wants, right? As quickly as possible without having to spend a bunch of my own money, and, as efficiently, because I've only got so much time to put into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so, my mind's just totally been focused on, looking for, like you say, a good system or little tidbits of how to teach our audience and our academy members and all the followers of Internet Business Mastery how to implement this kind of thing. So I was really excited with the very timely arrival of some brand new training and online videos and some free online training from probably the go-to guy within the internet marketing space when it comes to social media. We have who's the go-to guy for product launches? Well, it's Jeff Walker. Or who's the go-to guy that we go to when we want to boost our conversions on our site? Well, probably Ryan Dice, because he tests so many things. He knows how to convert. And so if somebody asks me who's the go-to guy when it comes to actually making money and doing business with social media, Don Crowther would come to mind. And so, his name came back up on my radar recently which was very timely just because of all this thinking about social media and how to help people be able to get those followings fast and make money as fast as possible with social media. And I was like, oh, of course, like Don's always like testing and teaching this stuff and has been doing this, for the last 3 or 4 years with great success. So the exciting thing is that we have an interview with Don Crowther to go right along with this theme of the fast money search right here on this episode that we're going to go ahead and share with the audience. And this is excerpted out of a recent, exclusive call that we did with, a group of our coaching students with Don Crowther. But we took out some of these, pulled out an excerpt of some of the best tips and ideas to be able to share with you, and pulled it to put on here on the podcast for you to enjoy. Well, since we were just kind of talking about this fast money thing last episode, it seemed like a great way to follow up on this episode as well. So along with that, we're not going to have any breakthrough or the usual quick tip at the end, because we wanted to focus just on this interview, and there's just a ton of great ideas right in there. So it just seemed like we didn't want to pack too much in, and want to be able to have a little bit more time to give you more of this interview as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the interview.
And now, the features segment.
Today we are privileged to be joined by Don Crowther. And before I bring Don in here, let me tell just a quick story. When the first time I heard of Don, heard his name, I was at a conference, and it's not an important what conference it was, which is an internet marketing conference. And I showed up later in the day on the first day, so I had actually missed like the first day of stuff. And, but I was curious, like, how did the day go, and asked some of my friends, and I said, so what did I miss anything really important? And like everybody asked, the unanimous answer was, oh, you missed Don Crowther's presentation on social media. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So social media was like brand new thing. It was probably, 2, maybe even 3 years ago. And that was the first I'd heard of his name. And, about a year later, I was fortunate enough to actually get to know Don, and we shared dinner a few times, and he shared many excellent ideas with me, and is definitely a guy that many people listen to when it comes to social media traffic. So that's what we'll be talking about today, and that is why I invited Don to be with us, because he's in there, he's doing it, he's a voracious tester, and I trust the information that he teaches. So thank you, Don, for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much. Let's start out by just talking history for literally 2 minutes. Social media was nothing 3.5 years, basically beginning of 2007 is when social media started. So 3.5 years ago, social media was just starting. And it has had amazing explosions since then. So tweets per day has gone from 0 to 50 million. If you look at Facebook users don't go all the way. Obviously, they were 0 back at that point in time. In August 2008, they were 100 million. It took until April 2009, and so a little less than a year, to hit 200 million. 300 million happened just 5 months later, in September 2009. In February 2010, we hit 400 million. And so what happened is each time it increases an additional 100 million in 1 month less than it took before. And if you go through that process, you start looking at that line and you say, wow, this is amazing, what we call in the business world hockey stick, where it starts out flat and then all of a sudden it just spikes up and goes through the roof. Those are so hard to forecast because you never know, number one, will the hockey stick happen? Number two, where will it happen? Number three, how steep will it be? And number four, how long will it last? What has become clear here is that social media is not a fad. This is what the future of Internet is. What has happened is it stopped being I talk to you and you quietly listen, and it has become a conversation back and forth between individuals and companies, between companies and companies. All kinds of different things are happening. Let me continue a little bit more history. YouTube. January 2008, 10 hours of video are being uploaded per minute. By May 2010, it's 24 hours of video uploaded per minute. Then if you look more, in July 2006, there are 100 million video views per day on YouTube, July 2006. In October 2009, it hit 1 billion. And by May 2010, it was 2 billion video views per day. That is 30 million hours of video being watched every single day. I'd like to have that bandwidth. All right. So, and all this says nothing about LinkedIn and blogs and mobile and hub pages and Squidoo and all those other kinds of sites. And lots of key strategies have come along during that time. So let's talk about some of these strategies that I believe are so important. And what I'd like to do is just sort of skim through several strategies right now, and then we will loop back, and I'm going to talk about several strategies in detail.
Awesome.
All right. What are the four major reasons why businesses use social media? What do you think the number one is?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I would say is because of tapping into the trigger of social proof. I mean, that's what comes to mind when I hear you talking about all these things. I mean, everybody listening to this in the course knows that recently I injured my knee and I needed to go and find an orthopedic surgeon, and I went on Yelp and I looked at reviews, and that's how I found it. And it was the same thing for my hair cutter, and it was the same thing for my massage therapist. I found all these people, but it's because I had limited time and I needed to make a quick decision, and one of the best things that could help me make a buy, no buy decision, like you said, was social proof. Well, what do other people think? Let's just let them do the hard work for me and shortcut the process. So I think if a business is smart, they're tapping into it because of social proof. But I don't know if that's the actual reason that most businesses are thinking about that. Another reason that comes to my mind is just to actually connect with new markets or to connect more deeply with your current market, knowing that in multiple contacts you're going to have more likely to reach the sale. And then I'd say driving traffic, because if you can drop people a link in front of people wherever their eyeballs are, and people are spending as much or more time in Facebook as in their email inbox, let's get them to take action. We need to drop our links in those places. I don't know. Those are a few that come to my mind, but
okay, you are really good. I just want everyone to know how good Jason really is. So the four reasons are, number one, to drive traffic to my website, 61% of the people. To make money, 56% of the people. And isn't it interesting? That's the one you left out, Jason. We got to talk about that. All right. Number three is to build relationships with prospects. That's 54%. Number four is to build relationships with customers. That is 43%. So if you combine the build relationships with prospects with building relationships with customers, people, 97% of businesses are using it to build relationships. And here's where that gets really, really interesting. Basically what that's telling us is that people have bought into what I consider to be the single biggest issue with social media, and that is there are a number of trainers out there who have been telling everyone that social media is primarily for building relationships. And what they're telling them is that social media can't be used for making money. And in reality, it's exactly the opposite when you think about it. So give me just a minute. I'm going to take you down a path here for just a moment. I believe the single biggest reason why companies don't make money using social media is because they are trying to do business social media the way they do personal social media. So they are trying to build their business using the same techniques they use to connect with their old college roommates. And that's where the problem comes in. That people aren't able to make money using social media. Well, the reason why is because they're spending all their time chatting about where they went to lunch today, taking pictures of their lunch, saying, I'm tired, I'm going to go take a nap. Good night, Twitterites. Good morning, Twitterites. They're doing all these things that do nothing to build their brand, and having people who don't want to carry on a business relationship the same way they do a personal relationship, and it actually repels them, besides taking far too much time for the business people who are using those techniques. So if you think about it for just a moment, when I talk to you, I want to know how's your knee, I want to know how's your business, how's everything, and I have these conversations with you. But because you're my friend, when I walk into Best Buy and I want to have the guy recommend the best big screen TV to me, I don't care whether he just broke up with his girlfriend last night. I don't care what he had for lunch, and I don't care if he feels like he needs a nap or feels underpaid. None of those things are things that I care about. But if he approached me like he would a friend, he is actually going to drive me away because he will be talking to me as you would a friend. And so you need to draw a clear line between personal social media usage and business social media usage and not cross the line from business into personal. If someone wants to talk to you on a personal basis from business, and there are some businesses that it is valuable to have more of a personal relationship with people, a doctor, a dentist, a financial manager, the kinds of things where there are advantages in having an additional knowledge about someone's life. And it never hurts to say, hey, I saw the pictures of your cute new baby. All those things are appropriate, but what becomes inappropriate is when you are sharing personal elements of your life that your audience, your customers, don't care to know. That's where the line gets crossed, and that's what causes companies over and over and over again to drop out of social media because they're not making money. It's all about the content. It's all about proving that you're knowledgeable. It's all about proving that you can be trusted. It's all about proving that you are the very best supplier of information, products, and services in that particular niche. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that you should be a boring automaton and never reveal anything personal about your life. What I am saying is that there is a line that you need to not cross, and that when you do reveal personal elements of your life, you do it occasionally and carefully chosen. And those are the two key words. Not just right and left, sharing all kinds of aspects about your personal life. People don't care what you had for lunch. People don't care that you're feeling sick today. All those kinds of things. It's just there is a significant difference. So, that's a key rant. But I have found that it makes all the difference in the world with companies, whether they make money or not, using social media. And it's the people who try to do it. And unfortunately what's happened is there's a whole group of social media teachers out there who are teaching exactly the opposite. And as a result, there's a lot of people who bought into that. That's the reason why you should use social media. In fact, there's actually a video that I have up right now that that takes you through this in a little bit more detail and explains the rationale a little bit better than I just did. But as you do that, I think you'll come to understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So let's go down and talk about a couple of these very specific techniques that I think would be very helpful for you. Let's start with the Twitter one, okay? All right. So this one starts to ask the question, what do you post in your Twitter feed? Well, here's the toughest part about Twitter. In fact, I was actually thinking about this today. I've watched a number of the social media gurus out there, and this isn't just Twitter. This is everywhere. And I've gone to dinner with them, and I've sat there and watched them at dinner with their iPhone out, like posting 10 times during dinner. And here they're turning from their real life, what we call sometimes in the IT world, meet world friends, and they're ignoring their real life friends who are sitting there at the table with them, wanting to hold a conversation with them, so they can carry on a continuing conversation with thousands of people who have, if they were to walk past them on the street, wouldn't even know who they were. And I've said to them, why don't you just put that away? And they say to me, I can't, because I have to do this to continue my momentum with these people.
Right.
And I sit there and it's like, well, I'm a social media expert. My iPhone's in my pocket and has been all day. What's the difference between you and I? And basically what the difference is that I have systems in place that regularly post. And so it appears like I'm sitting at dinner posting those things, when in reality, I've got it in my pocket and I'm enjoying a conversation with my friends there at dinner. And so let's talk through one of the systems that it has worked really well for me and a whole bunch of other companies that I think could work well for you also. Basically what you're doing here is you're building a foundation of posts that are evergreen, that come back over and over. You can recycle them, and that do really well. So the first foundation stone of that is what I call stand-alone tips. So you take your business and you write 50 or 100 different 120-character tips. And they're standalone. They have nothing that don't require any other information to get right. And so each one of them then has a link afterwards that says more tips, ? And a shortened URL. When someone clicks on that, they go to a squeeze page. That squeeze page has a video on it that says, hey, if you just came from one of my tips on Twitter, if you would like more tips just like this, sign up right here in the box and I'll send you some tips every day. And what that does then is it builds an opt-in list, and it enables you to post into advance all these tips, and you don't have to be doing it every single day. All right, thoughts and quotes. It is amazing to me how many people love great little pithy quotes. And so if you can go, and especially if you can find some quotes that are applicable to your particular audience, some of them can be funny, some of them can be just informative, some of them can be the slant on this. And so let's say you're into, your audience is all about dogs, and so maybe you do dog quotes, and it's taking the quotes that we've all heard all our life and turn it into dog terms. And I don't know, because I'm not very good at this kind of stuff off the top of my head, and I'm not very funny, but you could do some really funny conversions from the mind of a dog and turn those quotes into, and that could just be hilarious, and people would love that, and people would retweet that all over the place. All right, so now let's go back. Standalone tips. I recommend that you do 1 to 3 of those per day, spaced across the day. I do one at 8 o'clock in the morning. Actually, not the standalone trips. I'll give you the times on my thoughts and quotes. Okay. Secondly is the blog and video tips. You're doing 1 to 4 of those a day. And your thoughts and quotes, you're doing 1 to 3 of those per day. And so if you just do one of each one of those, that gives you 3 posts a day that can be scheduled months in advance, that you can be sitting on a beach in Cancun, nowhere close to any kind of electronic device, and you are posting at least 3 posts a day. But remember, the standalone tips, we had 3, and then we had blog tips at 4, and then we had thoughts and quotes at 3. That's 10. And so you could actually schedule it so you were posting 10 pieces of content per day sitting from a beach in Cancun because it was done 2 months ago. Or, even better, every single thing I talked about in the last 5 minutes can be outsourced. You can have other people write all this stuff for you. You can have other people post all this stuff for you. You don't even have to touch it. In fact, I have an assistant who comes and sits in my office, and that's part of his job, is to, once every month or so, he goes in and updates everything, and it just happens. And I don't even have to worry about it. It just happens. All right. So Jason, you want to do questions? Do you want me to do some more strategies? What would you like?
Well, let me check here in the chat real quick. We're having a call for more strategies here in the chat room. So it sounds like they want to hear some more strategies. So let's go with that.
Okay. Before we do that, I want to just describe one thing. We did another survey just recently, and we found out a really interesting fact. See, 2 years ago, I taught a course on this very subject, and we're coming out with another course. You can probably imagine there's another course coming really soon. This is sort of the way we work in the internet marketing business, so it's coming really soon. Like next week, you'll probably hear more about this. We surveyed the people who had taken the last course, and we found out 2 very, very interesting things, and that is, of those who actually did at least half of what I taught them in the last course, 100% of them at least broke even, if not made money, and a bunch of them made a ton of money. I thought it was really interesting. Literally 100% of people who did at least half of what I taught them made money.
That's a great stat.
I've never seen that kind of stat before. And of the people who are lazy and who only did 20% of it, they had an 80% probability of making money. So even if all you do is pick and choose, I don't want to do that one, it sounds too hard, I want to do this one, and you only choose 20% of what I teach, the statistics show that you'll at least break even if not make money. I think that's a very compelling story. And it's all brought on by the FTC saying, hey, you got to prove what people actually make. Well, I can tell you, of the people who take my course, 50%, those who do 100% of it, 50% of that, excuse me, say that one more time. Of those who do 50% of it, 100% of them make money, and those who do 20% of them, 80% of them make money. And so it's a pretty good indication that you're going to make some money with these kinds of strategies. And these are not the normal. I haven't taught you the standard Facebook kinds of things and the standard Twitter kinds of things. I'm teaching you things that are designed to make money, not designed to do some other things. So let's talk about a couple other strategies here. All right. Here's another one. I call this one the you don't have to technique. And I have found this to be really interesting because I've been using this technique for years, and I tell other people, and they go, oh, I had no idea. Here's the way it goes. It goes, you don't have to. You don't have to read every tweet that anyone posts. You don't have to read every email that you receive. You don't have to read every post in your RSS feed. You don't have to read every blog post that your key players in your target niche write. You don't have to do anything. And what I found is when I say that to people, all of a sudden they say, yes, I do. And then you start thinking about it and they say, well, I guess I really don't. They won't really know whether I read that or not. And what it does is it frees them up mentally and gets this guilt thing to go away. And so what they start doing is they start actually recognizing that it's their business, their time, and they can control it the way they want to. And as soon as you start doing that, you say, okay, you know what? I can actually follow 30,000 people on Twitter because I'm not going to read what they write. Now, wait a minute. What did Don just say? He said that he doesn't read every single thing written by all 30,000 people he's following? Yeah, I don't. In fact, I don't know anyone who follows more than 10,000 people who reads anything that anyone who they're following writes. If they read anything, what they do is they will have a list of about 10 people who they follow, and they have them separated in a separate list, and they're only reading their posts. But for you to sit there and read the stuff where so-and-so is talking about how, they wish their husband would come home because dinner's on the stove, it's like, you know what? That's not going to add any value. And that's one reason why when we say that social media takes too much time, that's one of the key things that takes too much time, is you're being exposed to all kinds of stuff that is not valuable in building your business. It's your business. It's your life. You make the rules. You decide what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, and that's what you do. And I believe that alone will change everything that you do. All right, that's it. I've talked long enough.
Well, that's all, huh?
Oh, I could go on all night. Trust me.
I know.
I've done 400 videos on this subject in the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, you know a lot. That is for sure. Well, that was awesome stuff. I know I learned a few things for sure. I mean that I'd actually never even heard of before. So I took a couple notes here to go and check them out.
Cool.
And
anytime I can teach Jason something, I've been doing
nice. I'm definitely going to have my virtual assistant check that out right away.
Okay.
So thank you again, Don. I know you're again extremely busy right now because you have been putting together these videos and some new materials out there. So if you'd like to even go further down this mysterious and profitable rabbit hole of social media that Don has demystified for you, you can go to internetbusinessmastery.com/social media and watch these excellent videos that he's been putting out, where he gives even more strategies. And as you can see, the strategies he gives are very specific and also very, very helpful.
wait till tomorrow's video, because the strategy I just took you through is in there. But there's another one that's going to blow you away.
Oh, nice.
And it shows you how I live free.
All right.
I actually show you in that how I pay my mortgage every month.
Oh, really?
And I could actually go sit on a beach in Cancun, and for at least 6 to 10 months, I could pay my mortgage and sit on that beach.
Well, wow, 6 to 10. See that's pretty darn compelling. I remember reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he says the definition of wealth is how long could you go? If you stopped working today, how long until you'd feel it? And I don't think there's many people in this world that could say, I could go sit on a beach for 6 to 10 months and not even notice. So that's pretty darn cool.
It's a single strategy, a single site that I use to do that, and you're going to think that's really, really cool.
Very good. All right, everyone. We'll be talking to you again soon. Thank you again, Don, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there you go. I'm really excited we got to share that here on the show. Just really, really good stuff. And we mentioned there during the interview briefly that he had some free online training that you could go to just if you want to dig into this even more when it comes to building up that following on Facebook, building up the following on Twitter. I mean, as you can see from just a few tidbits he gave you there, lots of great, really actionable stuff and a different approach altogether that Don has to this. I mean, one of the things he says most is, there's two ways to make money with social media. There's the one that'll make you money, and there's the one that'll make you friends. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people doing business online kind of confuse the whole, not saying that social media is not good for, relationships and making friends as well, but you got to keep your purpose clear in what you're trying to do. And a lot of people sometimes confuse like doing all the just 100% to like look at all these friends I'm making online and thinking that that's, helping grow their business, when in actuality that's not really helping them make money at all. So Don does a great job of helping people like stay that path. Like, okay, let's be clear on, when is it time to be personal? When is it time to like, okay, let's do the things that are actually though going to make us money without having to dump a whole lot of time and energy into this social media stuff. So anyway, to learn more about what Don has to say and to check out this free online training that he has, go right now to internetbusinessmastery.com/social media.
And remember that the great thing about Don, he's got a different presentation style than we do, but definitely watch each one of these videos. They're awesome. I can't recommend them more, just to get that basic understanding of how to do it exactly, where you're not wasting time with social media, which I know a lot of people are doing. So it'll definitely help you with your social media pursuits.
One more time, internetbusinessmastery.com/social media.
And remember, there's a live question and answer call each month for Academy members where you can ask us anything about starting and running an internet business. If you're not a member, no problem. Just go to internetbusinessmasteryacademy.com and sign up now.
You've been listening to the iconoclasts of the 9 to 5, Sterling and Jay. Sterling and Jay invite you to discover one of their most popular video programs ever, the Online Business Freedom Formula. Visit freevideogift.com right now to get instant access to this life-changing video series, pulled directly from the acclaimed Internet Business Mastery Academy membership community. Go now to freevideogift.com. Take control. Make more money. Start an internet business today.